Testing. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start in about 90 seconds, so if you could take your seats and get comfortable, we're going to get this ceremony started.
So 90 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning, all. My name is Jason Babineau, and I'm the proud principal of Hoover High School. And it is an honor to welcome you all to our beautiful performing arts complex. This is truly the first celebration in our performing arts complex, and there's not a better group to be able to debut this beautiful space with. I often refer to our Hoover Chavistas, two amazing ones right here, as I'm sure you know, as the powerhouse of humans. And to be surrounded by young Chavistas, future Cardinals, current Chavistas, current Cardinals, and the supporters, it brings me a great sense of joy. Over the last 2 years, there's been a lot of reasons that the world has told us to maybe we just should focus on ourselves. And while I think that there's value in focusing on ourselves, what I believe that the last couple of years have also done are provide us with opportunities to rise up for each other, for opportunities to lead, for opportunities to serve, and for opportunities to love. And so I want to thank our Chavistas for continuing to rise up in our community and continuing to lead and continuing to serve and continuing to love when we have needed you the most. I honestly believe in my heart that we are put on this planet to serve, and I want to thank the Chavistas for modeling what that looks like for all of us. Give them a hand. I'm excited for this celebration, and I'm proud to introduce Miss Natalie Legretti to introduce our Chavistas. Thank you so much, and enjoy. You got that?
I got it, thank you. Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. We have a nice procession of Chavistas over here, if we want to go ahead and start the procession. We have Chavistas from, and if you guys can please give them a warm welcoming with rounds of applause, Central Elementary School, Edison Elementary School, Wilson Middle School, Fay Elementary, Euclid Elementary, Zamorano Elementary, SCPA Performing Arts Middle School, Burbank Elementary, Chavez Elementary, Monroe Clark Middle School, San Diego High School, Hoover High School, and Crawford High School. I'll say those names one more time as they're walking. Central Elementary, Edison Elementary, Wilson Middle School, Fay Elementary, Euclid Elementary, Zamorano Elementary, SCPA, Burbank, Chavez, Monroe Clark Middle School, San Diego High School, Hoover High School, Crawford High School, and we also have 2 thriving book clubs at Central and Burbank Elementary. Okay. We're going to wait for all of our wonderful students to be seated. And the flags are right there. Remember your mark? And your flags are right there.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here this morning. My name is Michaela Granados, and I am a Chavista at Burbank Elementary. I would like to invite everyone to join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now please join us for this morning's invocation with Rabbi Larry Koski. Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela. And can I ask you to hold a vase of flowers while I'm speaking? You stand right next to me right here and hold these flowers. Does that work for you? Perfect. Good morning, Chavistas and friends of Chavistas. How beautiful for us to be here and there together this morning. I brought you a present this morning, sunflowers, girasoles, the happiest flowers of all. ¿Qué significan los girasoles? What do sunflowers mean? El girasol es el símbolo del sol y simboliza el amor y la admiración, pero también la felicidad, la vitalidad, el positivismo y la energía. The sunflower represents the sun and symbolizes love and admiration, in addition to happiness and vitality, positivity, and energy. So who am I describing? Yes, you Chavistas. Sunflowers are Chavistas, each of you growing every year to the sun, growing and learning and blossoming with love, happiness, vitality, positivity, and energy. You are the sunflowers. And today, the sunflowers remind us of our brothers and sisters in the Ukraine, because the sunflower is the national flower of the Ukraine. We open our hearts to the millions of people, and especially children, who have been displaced by this war. We pray that those children and their families find safety and peace. Today, we mention flowers who have vanished from us this year, especially Sam Lopez from Urban Corps of San Diego County. Sam was our true partner, always being helpful, and an all-in-all good soul and a good friend. He is missed. And we mention and miss Debbie Puentes Lowe, our friend and amazing volunteer who always supported the Cesar Chavez service clubs. Even her last wish was to support the clubs. Her daughter Marisa and son Ryan are with us this morning. We extend our condolences and love to them. May Sam's and Debbie's memories be for us abiding blessings always. Chavistas, let these sunflowers welcome you in happiness and vitality this morning. Let us share a few last words about these sunflowers from a poet named Ed Blair. Oh, sunflower, the queen of all flowers, no other can compare with you. The roadside and fields are made golden because of your bright presence there. Above all, the weeds that surround you, you raise to the sun your bright head, embroidering beautiful landscapes your absence would leave brown and dead. Then, sunflower, peep over this podium, cover hillsides with gold, and out in the cornfields, if tempted, and take your claim as of old. Salute too, and nod to the stranger who travels the dusty highway. Let's worship the sun crown you're wearing and love you for brightening our day. Michaela and Chavistas, shall we present these sunflowers to Linda? Want to walk over and give them to Linda?
Well, this morning's full of surprises. Good morning, everyone. Right now, we're going to talk a little bit later, but right now, I'd like to introduce or ask you to just look at the screen where we have a nice little presentation from Mayor Todd Gloria. Thanks.
Buenos dias. Good morning. I'm San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria, and it's an honor to be a part of such an inspiring event, the Cesar Chavez Club's Las Mananitas breakfast. As you may know, I'm the son of a maid and a gardener who both worked hard to provide for our family. And from an early age, they taught me to always leave things better than I found them. They helped me to understand that each one of us has the ability and the responsibility to make the world a better place. It brought me into public service, and it inspires me every day to create a city that is truly for all of us. I'm also inspired by the strength, passion, and leadership of the Chavistas. I look forward to working with each and every one of you on the important issues facing our city today. Issues like addressing homelessness, combating climate change, and prioritizing the mental health and wellness of young people. It is an honor to serve this city alongside incredible people like all of you. Thank you for what you do to make our city great.
And before our next little presenter, Chavistas and everybody but Chavistas, I want you to look at this wonderful photo of Mayor Todd Gloria when he was probably as young or even younger than some of you, and he's now the mayor of San Diego, so you can do that too.
And good morning, Chavistas. My name is Koda Zeiser. I'm the Deputy Director of Community Engagement for Mayor Gloria. I'm honored to be here on behalf of our office, and I do have a certificate of recognition for the Chavista Congress. It is the Si Se Puede Award, and it writes, in recognition of your efforts to bring together elementary, middle, and high school age leaders to believe in themselves and make a difference on the issues young San Diegans care deeply about. Your contributions to help shape the future generation of leaders is truly commendable and has made our region a better place for all. A few weeks back, our office also received a couple dozen letters from Chavistas writing their thoughts and their policy recommendations on climate change. As you heard the mayor just say a few seconds ago, that we should always leave things better than they found them. And I believe all those advocacy, those letters that we received is very much in step with those. So the mayor actually did write back to each and every one of the letters that we received, and I wanted to present them, I believe, to you two here. And so I have the letters here. I imagine you guys can distribute them out and stuff. Perfect. Thank you guys so much. Yeah. Am I presenting the cert to you as well? Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
And now it's my great pleasure to introduce to you one of our Chavistas from Wilson Middle School, Angel Solis.
Thank you, Ms. Linda. My name is Angel Solis. I am an 8th grader at Wilson Middle School, a proud Chavista and a member of the Chavista Congress. Last month, I took part in a panel of students that interviewed the 2 finalists for the superintendent of the San Diego Unified School District. At that meeting, I was able to listen to a candidate's vision for our schools and also help them understand what is most important to students. Dr. Lamont Jackson shared with us not only his vision for schools, but also his own experiences growing up as a student in our district. I could relate to his story because many students in my community face similar issues. As a Chavista, I know I have the ability to be a leader now and in the future. That's why it's inspiring to meet Dr. Jackson, who shows what is possible if you believe in yourself and if others recognize you for the leader you can be. On behalf of my fellow Chavistas, it is an honor to introduce the Superintendent of the San Diego Unified School District, Dr. Lamont Jackson.
Wow. Thank you. I just shared with Angel, thank you, what an honor, what a fine young man, and I don't know how I'm going to get through this now. I stand here in great appreciation for you and all of the Chavistas. On behalf of the San Diego Unified School District, thank you, Linda and Carlos, Richard, Sharon. We also have Chris Ward here, thank you. Sir, I think he may have stepped out, and Pro-Tem Atkins, all the amazing folks here. And I want to take this opportunity to share with the Chavistas a little bit, as I shared with Angel and others. I stand here for you and with you. I grew up in Southeast San Diego, as many of you are growing up now. And I guess I would say, Linda, as you say, I'm here as a symbol of what is possible. What is possible when we as adults show up for our children. When we ensure that each and every child is seen and is heard for who they are and the amazing them that they are. And this is what we are about. When we talk about diversity, when we talk about inclusion, when we talk about equity, the Chavistas are symbolic of that. Those are words, but this is the reality. And the vision and the voice that you've brought to civic engagement and leadership, Linda, you and Carlos, on the shoulders of Cesar Chavez, who was about ensuring that we improved the working conditions and living conditions of our community. That's what we should be about. And that's what we are doing. When we can get it right, when we can see the fruits of our labor, then we know that it's possible, and now we have to replicate that. And so to the Chavistas, you have so many adults that see you and hear you and are creating the conditions worthy of you. And now it's your opportunity to show up for others. And our commitment is to grow the Chavistas, to grow the clubs, not because of just the name on the shirt, but because of the people who wear the shirt, the individuals. And I guess for me, that's what happened for me. Educators and people in the community, my extended family, not just my biological family, but beyond that, they showed up for me. And I am so fortunate not just to be seen as the superintendent, but to be seen as Lamont. That's who I am. And that's who I want to be seen for. And that's what I hope you hear, is just a young man growing up in Southeast San Diego, growing up in the public schools of San Diego to become the superintendent of the San Diego Unified School District. My challenge for you is to believe in yourself. I know it's hard. To see yourselves, to look in the mirror and be proud. And when I look at you, Angel, I want to make sure the world knows, and they are proud of you for who you are, not just the shirt you wear. Be proud of that. Thank you for the opportunity. And now I get to introduce a young man. I actually don't have my phone with, I do. I'm going to introduce you, right? Yeah. Come on up and help me. Tell me, they gave me the script, but...
Joel Castro.
Joel Castro. I don't know why they put me in between two amazing people. You don't know why? You can't tell you? Yeah. All right, well, they're looking forward to hearing from you, and I'm so proud to represent you and us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you again, Superintendent Jackson. And good morning, everyone, again. I'm Joel Castro. I'm a senior here at Hoover High School and president of both the Hoover Chavista Club as well as the Chavista Congress. As a proud Chavista since the 4th grade, I'd like to welcome you all here to Hoover and welcome the hundreds of you watching on our celebration on live stream. In front of me here in the audience are Chavistas from schools throughout the San Diego Unified School District. While we represent a powerful diversity of ages, races, ethnicities, gender identities, family backgrounds, and so forth, we are united by our Chavista values. Knowledge is power, be creative, teach someone, help someone, sacrifice for others, respect others, no violence, we are all different, be proud, and si se puede. I have done my best to live these values since I was a student at Central Elementary, then Wilson Middle School, and now at Hoover High School. As an undocumented student raised by hardworking parents, I have certainly faced challenges that have made me frustrated, discouraged, and at times left me doubting myself. But as I prepare to graduate this spring, I know who I am. I'm a kind, optimistic, intelligent, hardworking young leader determined to make our world a better place. In the fall, I'll take the next step of my journey as I am part of the first generation of my family to go to college. I will carry my... Thank you. I will carry my Chavista values with me throughout my life, and so will all the Chavistas here with me this morning. We are aware that our generation needs to lead now and in the future. We know that we need to save our planet and build a world that respects and values every person. As Chavistas, we are ready to lead because we do it every single day. I'd like now to introduce someone who has cared about me and believed in me for many years, Miss Linda Legretti. Miss Linda, thank you for believing in all of us. Our generation of Chavistas will make your generation very proud.
Hi. What Joel didn't tell you is that we've known each other since he was in the 4th grade. So I have had the most amazing opportunity to watch this young man grow from who he was as a 4th grade Chavista at Central Elementary to who he is today. And he is truly amazing, and you're going to hear some other good things about Joel and others a little later in the program. But right now, I'd like to welcome all of you here today. Thank you so much for being here. I'll tell you, one of the hardest things that I had to do for this event, even though I'm thrilled that we can be here together and in person, because it is the first time in 3 years. The first year we did everything. We didn't even do a Las Mananitas Celebration. We developed a Chavista Family Relief Fund. And then last year we did it on Zoom, and this year we're doing partially a live stream and a few people here. And so the hardest thing for me was to say to our wonderful supporters and friends and teachers and many of your family members that while this theater, this beautiful state-of-the-art theater, holds 500 people, we wanted our attendees to not exceed 300 people. And so I want to just say thank you, and I appreciate all of you who stayed home and watched this via live stream, and I want to thank all of you who were able to come, to have the opportunity to come. So thank you very much. I also would like to thank the many sponsors that always support our programs throughout the years. I think many of you have seen some of their logos on the screen earlier today, but I'd like to just let you know that without them, you know, we would not be able to do our work. And we have people who have sponsored us from the very beginning, like 20 years ago. So we have Manpower, who's been with us since the beginning, Mel and Linda Katz, Phil Blair. We've had San Diego Gas and Electric, and one of our board members who works with San Diego Gas and Electric, Neutron, has been amazing. And we'd also like to thank Southwest Airlines, who every year for the last 7 years has provided flight tickets for our Chavistas, for 46 of our Chavistas to go to Washington, D.C. for the last 7 years. So thank you to all of you, and thank you for the many other wonderful sponsors that we have here today. You're going to hear a little bit about the wonderful sponsors from the Municipal Employees Association and other groups, but you guys did a great job, you guys, this year. You always have supported us, but this year you did really, really well. So Fern and Ann and and Michael and everybody involved. Thank you guys so much. Let's give them a hand. So, before we go on, I would like to introduce a few people who are here today. Assemblymember Chris Ward was here, and I don't know if he stepped out. I know his daughter Becky wasn't feeling well. So we'd like to acknowledge the fact that he was here with us today. We have, and most important, well, I want to say this is my personal, okay, so I love this woman, what can I say? I'd like to recognize Senator Pro-Tem Tony Atkins. Thank you, Senator, for being here. Thank you so much. We all knew Tony when she was probably just a little older than some of you seniors. She worked in one of the city council offices way back in the day, and now she's like the most important woman in California. So, we have with us, I haven't seen her yet, but Marnie Von Wilpert from the San Diego City Council. And before I introduce a few more electeds, I want to introduce, yes, Tony and Chris and Marnie and all of the other wonderful electeds here. We have electeds that represent the Cesar Chavez Service Club, so thank you for all of the officers of the Cesar Chavez Clubs for being here today. They have gone through the same process that you go through. Thank you. So, I'd like to thank board member of the San Diego Unified School District, Richard Barrera. Trustee Sharon Whitehurst Payne. And we'll introduce some of the other non-elected, very important people who are with us today. I'd like to thank those of you who were not elected by the public, but were elected by people who know how to bring people on board. And that's the chancellor, our new chancellor from the San Diego Community College District, Dr. Carlos Turner Cortez. Hi, Carlos. I'd also like to introduce Dr. Eduardo Reyes, the new superintendent for Chula Vista Elementary. Thank you, Dr. Reyes. And Lucy Ugarte, who is a trustee, and Moises Aguirre, who is the new superintendent at Sweetwater Union. And, you know, all of these people that we're talking about are so important to who we are as a group and as a club, and so we couldn't do this without you. So I want to take this opportunity really quickly to thank and introduce our board members. Whether some are out of town doing really good work, but I'd like to just acknowledge our board chair, Ken Seaton-Imzamaji, our honoree. Let's do this Chavista way. Let me introduce all of them, and then you can give a nice round of applause, okay? So our honoree, who's on our board of directors as well, is Ann Smith. We have retired principal and teacher Cecilia Estrada, Sam Duran, former director of the Urban Corps of San Diego, Carlos Cota, who is with the Yahtzee Stagehands crew. Thank you, Carlos, and thank you all of the audiovisual folks that spent half of their day here yesterday, working out all of the magic that you're seeing on screen right now. This is the first time as Principal Babadell said that this theater is being used. They built it 2 years ago, but because of the pandemic, nobody was allowed to be together. So this is the first time, and so Ayatsi and audiovisual came in and just really did a good job. Thank you so much, you guys, for all your work. Board member Beth Kransberger, Dr. Carmen Garcia, Neutron, as I mentioned before, and Bernie Reinerson. Thank you so much. I know this is a long list, but like I said, it does take a village, and so I just want to be sure that I acknowledge everybody. This comes solely from my inner core, because without these folks, we could not do this either. Of course, my husband Carlos, who's not here today, he's watching live stream. So hi, honey. So co-founder Carlos Legretti. let's hold it for just a second, and then you've heard his name before, but he's also works with us as a projects operations manager, Richard Barrera. We have Natalie Legretti, who was the Chavista president when she was 5th grade at Longfellow Elementary. She now lives in Las Vegas, and she's doing an amazing job with the clubs. Patty Arvizu, volunteer early on, went and finished college. She graduated from UC Santa Barbara, came back to work with us, and she's been with us for 7 years. Andrew Sanchez, same thing, went to college. He worked with us through college. And so you Chavistas have great role models from all of the staff that you see. So Andrew, Ariana Gallegos, Jonathan Burgos, I could go on and talk about these people. I'm just supposed to say names, but I can't help myself. Veronica Vargas and Sinceria Richardson, thank you all so much. And one other really important group of people that we honestly rely on and appreciate so much are the many volunteers who help us in the organization. And so we've got, I'm just going to tell you their names because I want you to know who they hear them. We have Bobby West, who helped with all of the graphics this morning. Pam Clark, who runs our book clubs in a couple of the schools in the district. This is all volunteer work. Mary Jane Zapia, who's really kind of got started at Wilson and has been an amazing, amazing friend and volunteer. Kathy Shallow, who does book clubs. Our registration folks this morning were all volunteers: Irma Yolanda Castro, Patty Macedo, Connie Hernandez, and Francio Beluca. And a couple of people who are watching the live stream today, but so many things happened because of her generosity and her smarts. Dominique Navarro, I want to say thank you to you, and also to Lindsay Rickman. So now, my pleasure is... Oh, I forgot, where's my, where's Rosario Mija? This was totally an oversight. Okay, so Rosario Perez is on our staff, but now that I messed this up, I'm gonna just tell you a little bit about her. Rosario was, she was a Chavista since 4th grade. She graduated from Hoover. She went to UC Berkeley for a year, came back, helped us with doing internship, worked as an intern for one of our Level Up summer programs. And she was so good. And so it kind of worked out that she was thinking Berkeley really isn't the place for her right now. So she's took a little sabbatical to make decisions about where she wants to finish going to school. In the meantime, after she did such a good job with our internship program, we hired her, so she's working with us at the Chavez Service Club. So thank you, Mija, wherever you are. I can't see you. So now I have the great honor of introducing another Chavista who's been with us for years. She's a junior at Hoover High School this year, and she's going to talk a little bit about herself, but it really is my pleasure to introduce Miss Evelyn Navarrete.
Thank you, Ms. Linda. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Evelyn Navarrete Gomez. Let me lower this down a little bit. Okay. I'm Evelyn Navarrete Gomez, and I'm a junior here at Hoover High School. And I am the vice president of both the Hoover Chavez Service Club here at Hoover and then also the Chavista Congress. And I have been a Chavista since the 5th grade. And it's truly been an honor to grow up with the Chavista Club, they had such a big impact in my life, and I don't think I would have been where I am now if it weren't for the Chavista Club. And I come from a very, very proud Chavista family. My older siblings, who are now first-generation graduates from the University of California, Los Angeles, were Chavistas. Yeah, that's huge. And the Chavista Congress brings together the elected leaders of our club to address issues that affect all of us across the city. Each year, we go through a process to consider and come to and identify issues that we see as the highest priority. Last year, as people who were forced to deal with the pandemic, we prioritized student mental health. I and other members of the Congress participated as panelists in virtual community forums, helping to educate the public on both challenges and potential solutions to the mental health needs of young people. Working with other students from the school district's SWEAR committee, The Chavista Congress then put together a campaign to ask the school board to make mental health education a part of the core curriculum at San Diego Unified. We held virtual house meetings where we brought together friends, family members, teachers, and neighbors to discuss the need for such curriculum. We met individually with members of the school board to explain our proposal. We organized and held a press conference at the school district headquarters where elementary, middle school, and high school students spoke about the critical importance of mental health education. And when the school board placed our proposal on its agenda, we spoke in public comment at the meeting. Our proposal passed unanimously. Yeah. This year, the Chavista Congress is prioritizing action on climate change. We have already partnered with students from the San Diego 350 Eco Clubs to propose to the school board a resolution supporting Earth Day activities on school campuses. Members of the Congress met with each member on the school board. And again, our proposal passed unanimously. We are also learning from local experts about efforts by city and county governments to address climate change. And this spring, we plan to meet with city council members and county supervisors to encourage them to push forward bold strategies to address climate change at the local level. Being a leader of the Chavista Congress has motivated me personally to bring my voice into important conversations going on in our city. I have been appointed by Mayor Todd Gloria to the city's Youth Commission upon the recommendation of my city council member, Shawnee Lo Rivera. And thank you. And I have been appointed to the school district's Independent Oversight Committee on Racial Justice and Equity. And what inspires me the most is that through our Congress, I have gotten to know fellow Chavistas from different schools and who are all exercising their leadership skills at a very young age, and that was me. And I'm now advocating for my city and for City Heights. And I remember one of the first times that I learned how to public speak was at a Mananitas breakfast in elementary school, and I was frightened, but the work has paid off now. And then, including young students, and I am very confident that the Chavista Congress will be even stronger in the future. And now, I would like to introduce 3 of my fellow Chavistas to talk about the work we have been doing this year in our clubs.
So we have Sophia, Maritza, and Alina. Sophia will go to the marker first.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sophia Reyes, and I am the Chavista president at Burgos Elementary in Lopez. In our weekly meetings, the managers of the elementary and middle school clubs bring us new and current curriculum topics that we get to learn, discuss, and act upon. In this school year, in addition to things we review every year like African American, Native, and Women's history, we have learned about voting rights, organized labor, climate change, how to contact our local elected representatives, public health, and we still have several meetings before summer. Most recently, we had the opportunity to learn about the life and work of our honoree today, Miss Ann Smith, who is a living example of our 10 Chavista values. Some of this year's action projects include letters to Mayor Gloria that encourage the city of San Diego to be a part of the climate change solution. And we just finished our Get Up to Vote sign making project, where the signs we created in our club meetings will be on display in our local polling places. Thank you all for being here this morning and supporting us Chavistas.
You come up here, Maritza. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marissa Sardina. I'm a 12th grader and Chavista secretary at Hoover High School and have been a Chavista since the 7th grade. Thank you all for being with us this morning. Today, we would like to share with you what the Chavistas have been up to this year in our weekly meetings and in the community. This year, the Chavistas at Hoover, Crawford, and San Diego High have been very busy. Chavistas at Crawford High and San Diego High are currently leading a clothing drive where they have several collection locations in their schools and the support of their teachers and faculty. Here at Hoover, we organized the voter registration drive where we were able to register newly eligible voters at our school. After that, we collected a survey that asked students about their feeling of safety and welcomeness in the streets of City Heights. We hope to share our findings with our local elected officials to ensure all students feel safe in our community. And lastly, I am proud to announce that last month, the Chavistas at Hoover High School were recognized by the City Council Representative, Sean Ela Rivera, with an award for Youth Leaders of the Year. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alina Wing, and I'm an 8th grader at Wilson Middle School, and I have been a Chavista for 5 years now. Before the lockdown, we were all ready to go on our annual Washington, D.C. trip, and days before our departure, the lockdown started, which meant our trip has been postponed. Now, we are here 2 years later, preparing for our 7th annual Washington, D.C. trip that begins bright and early this coming Monday. We will be touring our nation's capital, visiting museums and memorials, and if we're lucky, we might even catch the world-famous cherry blossom trees in full bloom. Our DC trip is made up of dedicated middle and high school Chavistas in City Heights. Many of us have earned the opportunity to participate by being longtime members of our Chavista clubs, having good grades, and service to our community. The Chavistas would like to thank our sponsors, Southwest Airlines, and the official airlines of the Cesar Chavez Service Clubs, and our anonymous donor who has sponsored our trip since 2013. Thank you.
I do much better with glasses. So, I'd like to, we thanked a lot of people earlier today, and I'd like to I give another shout out, honestly, to a few folks who really has made this event less stressful for all of us. This is the first time we've done it like this, so we're all sort of learning, but it's part of the knowledge is power value that we teach, right? So earlier I mentioned audiovisual and Carlos Cota, who was with IATSE Local 122. I'd like to give a special shout out to really the man who was sort of in charge of making this happen with all of the crew and the technical people that we talked about, and that is Richard Disbrow. Richard, I don't know where you are, you're probably up in a booth somewhere, but thank you. I want to say when Richard came to Hoover High School, the first day that we talked about doing the school year, he was more excited than a kid in a candy store because they haven't been able to go out and do this kind of stuff for a long time because of the pandemic. So everybody was so happy to be here, and Richard was just like a beaming, shining star. So all of that came through Richard and all of the staff that you brought and the work that you did. So thank you so much. And now I'd like to introduce Joseph Sun, who, by the way, Joseph has been accepted to 15 colleges, so.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Joseph Sun, a senior Chavista at Crawford High School. And as a senior in high school, there's so much to figure out. There's so much to figure out. Like college applications, scholarship deadlines, and financial aid, and so much more. And with us being first-generation college students, the whole process of the preparation and the application process for applying to college, it didn't really help because our parents didn't attend college, so we didn't have anyone to look to. And so many Chavistas like myself and ourselves, we find ourselves needing support and guidance through the navigation process and the chaos of getting us to college. Fortunately for us, though, we have the Chavista College Readiness Program and its coordinator, Mr. Jonathan Burgos. With Jonathan's help these last 3 years, more than 75 Chavistas have been accepted to universities of their choosing. and he also guides students through the registration process for the wonderful San Diego community colleges. As Jonathan is becoming, as college is becoming increasingly expensive, getting accepted is only half the battle. Jonathan coaches us through our application essays and keeps us on track with deadlines. Since the Chavista College Readiness Program launched in 2019, under Jonathan's mentorship and guidance, the college-bound Chavistas have been awarded more than $1 million in scholarships. Most recently, because of Jonathan's dedication, the Chancellor Scholarship, which is a full ride to UCSD, it was once available to only 4 schools in San Diego, including Hoover, and it's now available to Crawford and San Diego High students. I speak for all college-bound I speak for all college-bound Chavistas when I say that the Chavista program, Readiness program, is beneficial to us, and Jonathan's commitment to helping us has had a tremendous impact on our lives. So I just thank you all for being here, and thank you to the Cesar Chavez service clubs and Jonathan for their consistent support as we close the chapter on high school and turn the page to college. And I would like to now introduce our college mentor extraordinaire, Jonathan Burgos.
Good morning, everyone. And for those that speak Tagalog, in conjunction and in union with those from the Farmworkers Movement, Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Peace with all of you. I'm honored to be here today. And Joseph said a lot of things in terms of the numbers and where they got in. But before I start, actually, can I have all the seniors go ahead and stand up so we can recognize you for who you are? We have students from Crawford, Hoover, and San Diego High. And they're not all here today. Some of them are online. I just want to thank all of you for trusting us in this process and for being who you are. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart. My job is easy because Miss Linda made it easy for me. To be in this opportunity, to be with a club where students can be a part of a program from elementary school to high school, my job is easy. All I have to do is tell them to talk about the Chavistas, because they put that all together themselves. But in addition to that, they got to share their stories. Being an immigrant, being a refugee, working full-time during the pandemic because parents lost their jobs. For them to put it on paper, it's not easy. But that's why they got into these colleges. That's why they got into some examples: University of Chicago, University of Michigan, Georgia Tech, Northeastern, USD, all the UCs, at least half of the CSUs, because there's so many to apply to. But in addition to that, the HBCUs. It's because their story matters. And it's because I learned Chavistas that they matter. And so again, for me to be here today, I'm really honored. And it's not just getting into college that we care about as part of the Chavistas. The best part is, and again, thank you, Ms. Linda, is to allowing me the opportunity to think about what's beyond college. And it's their careers. Our Chavistas deserve careers that are not just high paying, but have full benefits. That's the way that we can raise our communities out of generational poverty, is through college, but in addition to college, having great careers. So one thing that I'm proud and excited to share is that it's not just about college, it's again having a thriving career. And so with the help of the Chavez clubs, we are starting our first job fair at the Jacob Center on April 22nd. And so with the help of the districts and with the help of our clubs, we're going to have not just some of the companies in San Diego, but we're also going to have the trade unions there. We're going to have the pre-apprenticeship programs here. So not just, thank you. We're so proud of our background in the unions, and we want to make sure that our Chavistas know about that opportunity. But not just our Chavistas, our families, because our families deserve that as well. And so those who weren't even in the Chavista program are still family to us. So we want to make sure that the Chavistas' cousins, their aunts, their uncles, their parents have an opportunity to know about these jobs that are out there so that we can take care of our whole community. So I just want to thank you, all of you here today, all of you online, for being supporters of our program, because you're not just helping us from elementary through high school, you're helping us thrive with a great career. Thank you so much. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce one of the many amazing Chavistas, Alex Fabian from Crawford High School.
Good morning. My name is Alex Fabian, a Chavista for 4 years and the current president of the Crawford High School Cesar Chavez Club. I and so many of our Chavista families remember very well 2 years ago when, like fire, the pandemic swept through our communities. Our families were totally devastated as most of their means were lost by financially supporting themselves. We did not have the money to pay the mounting daily and weekly and monthly expenses. Everything looked pretty bleak. Then our Chavista Club managers called the families with information regarding the Chavista Family Relief Fund and the emergency funds available. The relief fund raised over $200,000 that went directly to help our families. With these funds, we were able to buy food, pay the rent, buy gas, and purchase medicine, and pay the utility bills. The relief fund also kept our college dreams alive by rewarding over $70,000 in Fahari Jeffers Scholarship. Without this relief fund, our lives would have been very difficult. This has also been a life lesson of the Chavista core value, help someone. We will remember the many good and generous people in our community. We will not forget their acts of giving and kindness. I know firsthand the enormous help the relief fund because my family received fund assistance and we are forever grateful. From the bottom of our hearts, all the families who believed and donated to Chavista Fund, thank you.
Great job, Alex. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm Richard Barrera, and I'm with the school board, and also it's the really gift of my life to be able to work with the Chavez clubs, with our Chavistas, with our incredible staff. And so I'm about to hit you all up for money. So get ready for that. Before I do that, though, I want to add a recognition. So Evelyn talked about all of the work that the Chavista Congress has been doing for the past couple of years, and thank you. All right, thank you, brother. Yeah, that's right. Once again, IATSE Local 122. So a couple of years ago, the Chavistas prioritized attacking homelessness as one of their key goals, and they got very active in a campaign to push for a new revenue source in the city of San Diego to address homelessness. And like with everything else the Chavistas do, it was a comprehensive campaign. So we had Chavistas that came down to the city council, to the rules committee, and advocated to put the homelessness measure on the ballot, which the rules committee then did, and the full city council brought that measure forward to the voters of San Diego. And when that measure went forward, the Chavistas held house meetings with their neighbors, fellow students, teachers, family, to talk about why addressing homelessness was personally important to them. And in carrying out that house meeting strategy, they followed the example and the teachings of Marshall Gans, who of course developed that house meeting strategy with the United Farm Workers and then applied it to the presidential campaign of Barack Obama in 2008. And we had our Chavistas that were learning that method and not only conducting their own house meetings, but teaching other people how to do house meetings. And so, and through the work of the Chavista Congress in the measure to address homelessness, the San Diego Housing Federation, which had been advising the Congress on policy issues, is awarding a special recognition for outstanding community advocacy to the Chavista Congress for your work addressing homelessness. And if Carla Morales and Celeste could come on, I just want to make sure that you can receive this award on behalf of the Chavista Congress. Carla herself not only ran house meetings, but was a presenter at community forums about the importance of addressing homelessness. So again, on behalf of the Chavista Congress, Carla and Celeste, could you please receive this award? Thank you. All right, now get your wallets out. So, as we know, the work of the Chavistas does require resources. It's the hardest working group of people that I've ever known, but we have to raise those resources. And thank you so much for everybody who has sponsored this event so far today, everybody who has contributed. But if you can do a little more, if you can push a little more, it's going to help the Chavistas do a little more. So I'd like everybody to take a minute. If you've got your smartphones, you can go onto the Chavista website, chavezclubs.org, and you will find the donate button. And if you can contribute $100, that would be amazing. If you can contribute more than that, that would be amazing. If you can contribute $5, that would be amazing. But if everybody could take that second right now, go onto your phones, hit that donate page, and help us, raise more revenue to support these amazing Chavistas in front of you. And please do it now. Please do it when you leave this morning. Please do it over this weekend while it's still fresh in your mind. All right? Who is going to, show of hands, who's going to go onto our website and put something in for the work of the Chavistas? All right? We got some hands going up, waving some phones. I love it. All right. Okay. It is an incredible honor for me now to introduce one of the most amazing young leaders that I've ever gotten to know and work with. Somebody who actually has not only run house meetings in the Marshall-Ganz framework, but has taught other people how to run house meetings. An incredibly gifted, committed, passionate young person who I know is going to make this world a better place. And to introduce our honoree, I'd like to welcome up our 9th grader from San Diego High School, Sanjana Ganguly Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Mr. Richard. Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sanjana Ganguly Fitzgerald, and I am the Chavista Vice President-elect at San Diego High School, as well as the Secretary of the Chavista Congress. Today, I have the honor of introducing this year's Las Mananitas Celebration honoree, Ann Smith. Ann Smith's life as an advocate began long before she was admitted to the California bar in 1985. Born and raised outside Boston, Massachusetts, Ann left college to become a full-time volunteer for the United Farmworkers Union. She led boycott activities in the greater Boston area and in Rhode Island before relocating to California in 1975 when the state's landmark Agricultural Labor Relations Act gave farm workers the right to organize. UFW President Cesar Chavez assigned Ann to negotiate first-time labor agreements with unwilling, often hostile growers in Oxnard, Ventura, Santa Maria, Hemet, San Isidro, and in the Imperial and Salinas valleys. Farm workers taught her to speak Spanish, and through them, she learned what it meant to be an advocate, giving a voice and hope to those who are hurting. Motivated to strengthen her skills as an advocate, Anne enrolled in night law school at the Monterey College of Law in 1981 and graduated cum laude in 1985. She moved to San Diego, where over the past 37 years, she has pursued countless cases for working people to enforce fair employment and discrimination laws and to seek compensation for those who suffered disabling injuries. Since 1985, Anne has also proudly represented the San Diego Municipal Employees Association, or the MEA, the city of San Diego's largest public sector union, in litigation and in negotiations. Anne's crowning litigation achievement for city employees was the recent invalidation of an unlawful ballot measure known as Prop B. Prop B had eliminated the security of a modest defined benefit pension for thousands of public servants. This case gave Anne the rarest of opportunities for any lawyer when she argued the merits before the California Supreme Court in 2018, leading to a unanimous 7-0 decision in favor of MEA and 3 other city employee unions. This landmark case protects the collective bargaining rights of all public employees in California. After a 10-year legal battle with Anne serving as lead counsel, City of San Diego employees are now being restored the pensions they were denied and are being made whole for their losses, just as the courts have ordered. Anne's lifetime of effective advocacy for working people makes her a true Chavista, and for this reason, she is the Cesar Chavez Service Club's 2022 Las Mananitas Celebration honoree. And so now I'd like to welcome Senator Tony Atkins to the stage.
Good morning. My role is very brief. I want to say congratulations to all the Chavistas. My role is to give this resolution to the Chavista leaders to present it to Anne.
On behalf of Senator Tony Atkins, we are honored to present this award to Ann Smith. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. How beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sanjana. I appreciate the introduction, and certainly thank you, Senator Atkins. Good morning, Chavistas. I don't want to disturb the mic. I better not take any chances with that. Good morning, Chavistas, and good morning to all of you here with us or joining us remotely in support of the Chavez clubs. Las Mananitas, of course, is the traditional happy birthday song in Mexican families, and that's why the Chavez clubs each year holds this event to coincide with Cesar Chavez's birthday so that we can celebrate one abiding lesson of Cesar Chavez's life, and that is the power that one person can become an instrument of change by motivating thousands of people near and far to work together by nonviolent means to seek justice and a better life for farm workers. And so, leaving aside all the successes and failures of the farm worker movement, on which many books have been written, the abiding lesson of Cesar's life and of the farm worker movement itself is the power of people to bring about change. And that legacy is one that includes hundreds of people, farm workers and volunteers alike, whose own lives were transformed because of their involvement in the farm worker movement. And I am just one of those countless stories. And so this morning, Chavistas, I want to share with you 3 chapters in my own life that may encourage you as you continue to write your own wonderful, unique stories. The first chapter is becoming aware, getting involved, and building courage. For most of you, if not all of you, your involvement in the Cesar Chavez service clubs means that you're already in this chapter in your lives. But for me, I was already a junior in college. It was 1970, and don't start doing the math. It was 1970, it was a time of widespread activism, and I went to a meeting on my college campus in Boston, Massachusetts, to learn about California farm workers and why getting people to support a boycott of table grapes might help bring about necessary change. And so I signed up to participate on grocery store picket lines. And the more I volunteered, the more I learned, not only from the other amazing people, young and old, and from different walks of life who were also volunteering, but from the responses and reactions of people to our efforts. On those picket lines, there were, of course, many people who supported us, and everyone's spirits were buoyed when they did. But it was from the opponents that I was forced to decide if I had the courage of my convictions. The opponents would appear at our picket lines, and in those days, the preferred label to hurl at people that you disagreed with was to call them communists. And so that's what they called us, communists, and they told us to get jobs. Other people just took our flyers and crumpled them up, they threw them on the ground, or they threw them at us. And then on one of my daily rounds to small stores in the greater Boston area to ask store owners to support the boycott, one owner responded by chasing me out of the store with a watermelon cleaver in his hand. So I took that as a no, and I set up my one-person picket line outside the store to ask the customers to support the boycott. And so he responded by taking a garden hose and turning it on and soaking me from head to toe. But I brought assault and battery charges against him, and when we both appeared in court, he agreed to stop selling grapes, and I agreed to drop the charges. And so I became more involved and more compelled to do more, inspired by and strengthened by the other people who volunteered as well. And as a result, I made the decision that I would work full-time on the boycott and not return to finish my last year of college. And it was really in those years that I began to develop with what one of my legal opponents later called my iron fist inside a velvet glove. Now, the second chapter is how I learned to be an advocate from farm workers in California's fields long before I became a lawyer. After the strike and boycott caused enough disruption and enough pressure, in 1975, the Agricultural Labor Relations Act was passed in California, the first law in the country giving farm workers a right to unionize and be represented by unions. And I, along with many, many other people, answered the call for volunteers to come to California to help make that law a reality on the ground. And so after 5 years working on the boycott in Boston and in Providence, Rhode Island, I left home and family and came to California. I arrived at La Paz, the UFW headquarters in the Tehachapi Mountains outside Bakersfield, and almost immediately I went on a road trip with Cesar Chavez and his team and his 2 German shepherds, Boycott and Welga, on a road trip up through the Central Valley of California, where I witnessed Cesar explain to farm workers in one packed meeting after another what this new law meant, and that change was finally coming. And when we got back to La Paz, Cesar called me to his office and he said I needed to go immediately to Oxnard, Ventura, Santa Maria areas and begin negotiating labor contracts for farm workers. And in his office, I did what most people did in response to Cesar's directives, which was I nodded my head in agreement and hid my terror and left his office. And then I called my dad on the East Coast because I didn't know how to negotiate. I didn't know anything about the actual work issues that would need to be addressed in negotiating. And I didn't even speak Spanish. And so I called my dad and I said, how am I going to do this? And he helped me see that I really needed to do it, because if I didn't, I couldn't say who would do it. And as my dad always did, he made me believe that I could do whatever I put my mind to. And so for the next 6 years, I put my mind to it, and I put my whole heart in it, and I went from one assignment to another: Oxnard, Ventura, Santa Maria, San Isidro, Hemet, Blythe, the Imperial and Salinas Valleys. I worked with farm worker negotiating teams. I learned to speak Spanish. I learned what the issues were, and I battled at the bargaining table with unwilling, even openly hostile growers who all spent money on lawyers for the purpose of using the new law as a weapon to avoid signing labor agreements. And eventually, because of the conduct at the bargaining table, I was in, and others were in, unfair labor practice proceedings, trying to get results that would actually give the law meaning. And only in 1979, after a major strike in the lettuce industry in the Imperial Valley and the tragic death of Rufino Contreras, who was a young farm worker shot and killed by a grower foreman during the strike, only that effort produced a series of contracts with growers in the Imperial and Salinas Valleys. And during those years, I learned how racism against farm workers fueled much of the anti-union sentiment. And I also learned, not just in my brain, but in my gut, that there were many people who looked like me who were not friends. And there were many, many more people who didn't look like me, who would have given me the shirt off their backs. And the third chapter, Chavistas, and I'm still writing this chapter, is how becoming a lawyer empowered me to practice law as the advocate the farm worker movement had created. And so after 6 years of negotiating, I enrolled in night law school. It was a 4-year program. I worked full-time in a law firm during the day in Salinas. And when I graduated in 1985 and I took my Juris Doctorate degree, I am so happy to say that my mom and dad were there to see me get that degree. And I hope that in a small way, that moment eased some of the pain and worry I had caused them when I didn't finish college 15 years earlier. And so then I passed the bar, I came to San Diego, and for the last 37 years, I've been practicing law with amazing colleagues, talented and committed to representing countless clients who themselves have had the courage to seek justice, to bring cases challenging discrimination in the workplace or terminations that have been wrongful under the law, or to enforce fair labor standards, or in many cases, to struggle to achieve fair compensation for serious injuries caused by negligence or callous disregard. And I had learned already before law school, and it was proven to me time and time again practicing law, that laws by themselves don't assure that there will be justice. Only people can do that. And during all of these years that I've been privileged to practice law in San Diego, I have also had the honor of representing the San Diego Municipal Employees Association, which is the City of San Diego's largest employee union. And in fact, MEA, as it is called, has an even more special place in my heart because in 1986, I met MEA member Mike Fiersinger at an open house event, and not only did he become my husband, but he has been the wind beneath my wings ever since. Thank you. And so over these years, I have worked shoulder to shoulder with MEA's leadership in negotiating contracts with the city to try to improve wages and benefits and working conditions for city employees, and then to defend those benefits in litigation when there have been attacks on those benefits. But today, Chavistas, I want to tell you about a particularly important legal battle that has taken the last 10 years to win, and to introduce you to other amazing people who are here today whose stories will also inspire you. In 2011, the city's mayor at that time, on the bad legal advice of the former elected city attorney, decided that he would use the power and prestige of his office as mayor to dodge the city's obligations under the law to bargain with its unions, and instead go directly to voters to get approval to strip new city employees of the protection and benefit in their retirement of a modest pension. And this is especially important in the city because city employees don't participate in the Social Security system that most of us know about. And this plan by the mayor was a purposeful one And thanks to people who are in this room today to celebrate, the city's effort ultimately failed. Now, there were 4 unions that needed to make a decision about what the city was doing and how the city was violating the law. And those unions are the San Diego Municipal Employees Association, the San Diego City Firefighters Local 145, AFSCME Local 127, and the Deputy City Attorneys Association. And together they represent almost everybody that serves you as the residents of San Diego in providing services. And the leaders of those unions, at the time that the mayor was violating the law, they had pensions. So they were not going to be hurt by what the city was doing. It was only the new employees who were going to be hurt. But those leaders understood that if the city's conduct was left unchallenged, that future city employees would be hurt badly, and that the rights of all public employees to have collective bargaining would be undermined. And so they made the decision to fight back, and fight we did. And now I would like them to stand and you to give a warm applause to the leadership of the San Diego Municipal Employees Association, San Diego City Firefighters Local 145, AFSCME Local 127, Deputy City Attorneys Association. And one more round of applause for the incredibly talented attorneys who represent the other unions and who were with me in every courtroom battle. And that's Fern Steiner for the firefighters, Ellen Greenstone and Hannah Weinstein for Local 127, and Jim Cunningham for Deputy City Attorneys Association. And because of the leadership of these unions and the lawyers who joined me in this effort, after many a courtroom battle and hundreds of briefs written, the California Supreme Court unanimously condemned what the city had done. And now, after 10 years of legal battles, there are nearly 4,000 city employees who are having their guaranteed retirement security restored to them. And so, Chavistas, I leave you with 2 thoughts. First, as life teaches us, being a Chavista does not depend on race or national origin or your religion or where you were born, where you live, or even what you do for a living. It is a state of mind, of heart, of intention to live a life fueled by a passion for justice and a willingness to act to achieve it. And as you write your own wonderful, unique stories, always remember to cherish the families who love you and the friends you make and love as you write your stories, because they will be the people to sustain you when you succeed and when you fail. And with that in mind, I thank my own family and dear friends, some who are here today, others who are joining us remotely on the East Coast and on the West Coast and in other places in between. And I thank them for having loved and sustained me through all the efforts across these many years. Love to everyone, to all of you, and remember, si se puede. Yes, it can be done.
So I've asked Ann Smith to stay with me. She's like the ultimate teacher. And I hope that you Chavistas and everybody else really listened to everything she said. Thank you, Ann, so much. You know how much you mean to me. Thank you so much. We met back in the UFW days, like in 1975.
Yes,
anyway,
at La Paz.
At La Paz, yes. And I wanted her to stay with me because, as I said, she's the ultimate teacher, of whom many of you are in this room because you're principals and advisors who work with our clubs. But I want to recognize a special teacher who teaches at Wilson Middle School. Her name is Miss Pet Pease. And Miss Pease, I don't know if you all know her, she has received the highest award that anybody in the United States as a teacher can receive for math and sciences. And she received an award from President Joe Biden for her knowledge in these fields. So Pet, thank you, and thank you for being here. I wanted to thank all of our community college folks who typically are at our breakfast every year, Dr. Shabazz, Pam Luster, thank you so much for all your support. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Principal Babineau, and the wonderful staff that helped from the school, especially Lydia Gonzalez. I don't know if you're still here, Lydia, but thank you very much for everything you did. Thank you all for coming. Next year, hopefully, we won't have pandemic. We can fill up one of those hotels or another school or this school with the 1,000 or so people that we typically have in the audience. Thank you so much. We love you. And thank you again for your support. Thank you. Okay, so y'all are ready to go. So you can go if you want. You can stay and we can chit chat. Keep your mask on or go outside. You can take it off. But thank you for coming. Thank you, MEA. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, firefighters. Thank you, ABSME. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Chavistas.